whole life has changed ever since you came in. I knew way back then that you was heaven sent, angel here on earth. I love your mama for your birth.
What's up, TV crew?
It's your man Braxton.
And your lady Tia.
And as you guys know, we like to talk to people that are really impacting the culture. And Table View, we have a very special guest for us today.
Today, our special guest was a 2017 electrical engineering graduate from the illustrious North Carolina A&T State University. From 2015 to 2017, he was a 3-time MEAC Offensive Lineman of the Year, as well as a 3-time first-team All-MEAC. In 2017, he was the unanimous All-American, and in 2018, he was a 3rd-round draft pick to the Las Vegas Raiders. He is currently a 5-year veteran in the NFL. TV crew, let's welcome Brandon Parker.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed. Finally made it with you guys. You know, I know a lot about your podcast, so I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Well, I know we've been trying to get this on the books for a while, so we appreciate you making some time to chat with us today. You know, from one ex-athlete to another current athlete, you know, I mean, obviously I didn't play at the level that you did, man, but I know when I was a student at A&T, you were the face of the program, and I thought it was really, I mean, that's how I took it, and I thought it was really impressive to see a lineman be the face of the program. You know, I'm just curious, like, what is that experience like for you? Because I once played offensive line. I understand how it is on the field, and who gets the recognition and all of that stuff. So what was that like for you?
It was definitely different, bro. If you know me, you know I'm a very humble, kind of behind the scenes guy. Just don't talk a lot. Just go. Well, I do talk a lot, but not like, you know, talk junk. Work, man. So it was kind of different being the guy they looked to, the first guy that wanted to know about how did you feel about this, or how did you guys play? Like, being up front and center was definitely a different experience, but I enjoyed it. You know, Tariq Cole was face of the program, well deserved, as he should be. Kind of allowed me to do what I need to do while he was there. And then when the vacancy was there, it was like, hey, get up there. So okay, you know.
Was there like any prep that you had to do? Because I'm sure like I mean, even when I played in high school, every time you do interviews and stuff like that, did you ever do any prep, or were you just camera ready to go?
I've always kind of had a radiant personality as far as being able to talk and being able to express myself. And I still lead songs in front of the church. So that got me used to being, you know, in front of a crowd. So then it was just like, learn to slow down, think your thoughts all the way out, and just speak with your mind, you know. And obviously don't say everything, because sometimes it's not all good, but just learn to be comfortable in that environment.
Right.
Oh, okay. That's good. So how can athletes better prepare themselves for life after sports?
I would say don't wait till after sports, because even in when I had potential to get drafted, I was still going to the career fairs and stuff, man. I was there. I was an engineering student, obviously, so I was trying to land something. You know, never did. I'm glad I didn't. But even year 5 going on year 6, so I still start trying to bridge the gap for life after football. Like, I'm starting to try to look into internships and you know, apprentice program, stuff I can do to start getting my foot in the next door. So I would say just make sure you're always looking ahead, because nothing lasts, especially football. So as long as you understand, you'll be prepared.
Yeah. I know once I was listening to I Am Athlete, and they always talk about how NFL stands for not for long, just because it's not something that you're going to do for the rest of your life. Did you ever have any experiences yourself or with your teammates where you guys had to have conversations, particularly in college, about how to prepare yourself financially? You know, especially like, I'm curious in your perspective, because, you know, you go from a college student to you just got drafted to the NFL. I'm sure there's a big financial difference. And I'm not in your pockets or anything, but like, what is that shift kind of like for you?
That shift, I'm very frugal. My wife be the first one to tell you that, because, you know, I look her up. Like, it's, you know, I pull the leash a lot as far as kind of what we spend. But man, I didn't change much. Once I got to NFL, I was still going to dollar stores. I was still going to the flea market. My wife had to pull me out of Goodwill because, you know, I was too big to wear the clothes. The quality wasn't good. But like, I city train in college, and I still was trying to go. So my wife had to start helping me kind of transition to adulthood and buying better quality clothes. But I still have that same mentality, man. There's nothing wrong with a budget. There's nothing wrong with going to the place to buy. Nothing wrong with that.
Staying humble.
Yes, that's
really
critical. So you ain't got a chain yet?
I wish I could go grab it. I got the same gold chain my parents bought me for Christmas after like my senior year, and I think it still was very cheap. It hadn't turned though, so shout out to the parents.
That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's
He
all
loves
about.
his chains. He wants a new one for his birthday next month.
Yeah.
I like the tea, the baguettes and all that good stuff. But I mean, other than that, man, I don't think I would be that guy. It's nice, the VVs and nice, but I don't think I'd be that guy.
Right. Well, good thing is you got your priorities in order, and you know what's important to you, which is always critical. I mean, again, I'm no longer an athlete, but I know that consistently we see on television people lose what's important to them and tend to put their money into other things, thinking it is going to last forever.
And it doesn't.
It definitely don't. But we obviously, you play for North Carolina A&T, which is an HBCU. So after some of the recent events of things going on at HBCU athletic programs, what are your thoughts about that, particularly in regards to like the exposure and the support that the HBCU programs get?
It's really good. It's HBCUs have supported us for, centuries, it feels like now. So it's finally good for them to get the front row seats that they've deserved for a long time. They've put a lot of money on everybody's tables, especially in the Black community. So getting those big names like Dion, unfortunately, Ed Reed with the situation of Bethune, Eddie George has been at Tennessee State doing this thing for a long time. Getting some of those names where like they have a following from the NFL and they bring that to the HBCU level, it does nothing but expand kind of our outreach. So it's nice to see us finally get the credit we deserve because we can ball at this level. I proved it. Many others in the NFL have proven it to this day. And it's finally get at to see where we're coming from to finally get put on the main stage.
Yeah. And that's great because I know the thought that a lot of people have is, oh, you went to HBCU because you weren't good enough. And the reality is like, no, I went to HBCU sometimes because that's where I wanted to go. And sometimes it is. That's who gave me an offer. But it's all about how you play on the field at that time. And of course, you continue to develop. So, that doesn't mean that you're not good enough to make it to the next level. Obviously, you're an example of that. And, I love being able to turn on TV and I see, HBCUs playing football and I didn't have to search for it and I didn't have to do a deep dive trying to find it. What are I'm seeing some stuff going on at Bethune now, and it looks like it's mostly in regards to like funding and stuff. But today I saw a video where players have to share helmets. What's your thoughts around that? I mean, is that something that could? Yeah, it just happened. I mean, is that even something that could happen? Is that true? I mean, give us a peek behind the curtains as to something like that.
Well, it's no secret that HBCUs don't get the same funding that PWIs do. That's just, it's a given because for one, lack of endowment, a lot of us get our degrees and don't look back compared to some of the other schools. And number two, it's on purpose. Sometimes the states don't fund us like they should. And that's kind of what Florida, now Bethune being a private school, that's pretty much endowment because they already have tuition. $30,000 a year is pretty expensive, even for in-state. Right. So Bethune, I don't know if it's an issue of the money not going where it needs to go or if they're not getting enough alumni support because they don't have a big alumni thing. Only like maybe 10,000 I don't even think they're that. Maybe like 5,000 or 6,000 students. Yeah. So I think this has always been a lack of funding. This is the same school that was struggling with accreditation and, been struggling financially for years. So I think they may have to share a helmet or two. It's unfortunate it's like that. And it's embarrassing for a D1 AA program. But until, we as Black people and the alumni of that school start taking amongst themselves to really get back and step them up, then it's always going to be that situation because, we're not going to get as much help as we need from up top. So it's just how it is.
Yeah. No, that's the truth. I mean, we got to look out for ourselves. And as alumni, we got to be sure to give back, especially if we're in a position where we're able to do that. So I love that you touched on that.
Mm-hmm. So can you give your thoughts on the NIL opportunities for college athletes?
It's really good. It's finally nice to see a lot of people start to get their coins that they deserve. I think they get too much coins sometimes. Yes. An 18 or 19-year-old player who's making more than the coach. How you going to tell them anything? Like, right. Come on. I'm glad to see guys finally getting taken care of because I think of players like myself, like Tariq, like maybe Elijah Bell, maybe Lamar Raynard, Tony McRae. There's a lot of guys who could have benefited from that NIL situation in college who kind of had to scrap together stuff to do what they had to do just to make ends meet. So
Right.
even if you make like a $10,000 or $20,000 NIL deal a year, that's enough to sustain yourself in college. You don't need a whole lot, especially
Yeah.
on full. So
Yeah.
if you secure an extra couple thousand, something to help you just live, then that would have been okay. So I'm all for times they go a little over the top, millions of dollars, 18, 19 years old is insane, but hey, at least they're getting it.
Yeah, maybe like it'd be good if they could give the athletes who do get NIL deals like a financial literacy course or something. So that you, hey, you're making this money, but let's make sure you know how to spend it and be smart with it, rather than just getting shoes and chains and partying, who knows whatnot.
Hey, like you said, like do that or have advisors that are willing. Maybe the college starts hiring financial advisors to help the NIL guys, or maybe just cap the NIL, cap it at like $500K. So that way you have many dirty, underhanded tactics going on, and it kind of evens the playing field as far as recruiting too. Now it makes it truly about, do I like the school or not? Because you're going to get the same amount wherever you go. Yeah. So I think we'll see some adjustments in the near future because I think it's out of hand. So they'll pull it back a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. If you were still playing college ball, do you think there's a particular place you would want an NIL deal with? Like, is there a spot you just like someone you just support, whether they gave you money or not? But like, who would you try to get one from?
Man, I'm trying to think of the favorite places I like to go. In A&T, I started Greensboro. It would be nice to get like a Stephanie's NIL deal. I love to eat. A Cookout NIL deal, a Bojangles NIL deal. I'm a Chinese food head, so a China buffet. I know they wouldn't, but like an Ichiban buffet NIL deal.
That'd be cool.
May not pay the bills, but at least I get free meals. So I would have took that.
Oh yeah.
Hey, we don't got a lot of money for you, but we'll give you 23-piece meals a month. Oh yeah, sign me up.
Yeah. I'll take that any day. I just saw the one kid that was the Popeyes meme. He has an NIL deal with Popeyes now. Which
is it the one he was looking like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's him. That's
grown up so much. How many years ago was that? Because he was like 10, I feel like.
That was in Vine days, if you remember. So that was like 20. Yeah.
That was a while ago. So we talked a little bit about college. Now let's talk about where you're at now. You're in the NFL. I'm not sure if you think this, but many are going to say you've made it. You've reached a point in your career that very few can say that they've been able to do. But based on your experiences in just football in general, what are some things you would change about it? It can be either in regards to how it's played, how the business is done, just anything. Is there anything in particular that you would change about the game?
It's kind of the business we're in, but I just wish it wasn't so cutthroat sometimes. I mean, you got guys. I've been blessed to be here for 5 years straight now, so I haven't had to move. My family's always been okay, just planting our feet for one place for the season. But you've had guys that got to move like 2, sometimes 3 or 4 times in the season. Like they're bringing their family everywhere they go. They have to up and leave, so they go right away. Like as soon as you get signed, you're on a plane, like the next plane out there to like get it going. So your poor wife or your kids are left to like pack whatever you got up and try to scramble together and get, go follow you again and go follow you again. So I wish it wasn't so cutthroat. Like I wish sometimes like it was the NBA where we had guaranteed contracts for everybody. So you're wherever you are is where you are. But other than that, I mean, I like where the game is at. I like the speed, the intensity, the safety of it. I just wish it was cutthroat sometimes. But that's kind of life,
Yeah. And I'll add, for me as a fan watching, when I was playing, it was a different type of football. That's when it was the rugged. It really wasn't about speed. I'm not a fast guy, so that's why I thought I should have made it. But anyway,
right. Yeah, right.
But like from one thing I support, but I'm not a fan of is the targeting. Like to me, some of these hits are like, that's football. That's just the way the game is played. Now, there are some where I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a safety thing. I totally understand. Now, I'm not sure, obviously, on the offensive side, you're probably not really dealing with that too often, but what are your thoughts when it comes to something like that?
Okay, just disclaimer, that's the babysitter, so I don't want... But yeah, the hit situation. So I like that it's in place. I think some of them are a bit malicious, and I know as fans they want as violent and as just deadly as possible. As a player, that ain't cool. So I do miss now. I ain't gonna lie. As a lineman, I do miss being able to blindside people and lay folks out. That's the fun part. But on the flip side, I don't miss getting laid out and blindsided. and not have to worry about a D lineman coming over and just cleaning your clock, you know. So it is kind of safer. Like there's less anxiety about the game, but as a lineman, I do miss a little bit of the violence. I do, but I do like where it's at. That there's less CTE cases because of the targeting penalties that are in now. So it's going to be great now.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, the safety is the most important piece because that helps you guys have a longer career. You know,
Right.
rather than you playing 3 or 4 years, you might be able to get 8 to 10 years out of it. So I just had to get on my soapbox and just express I support it, but I understand from a fan perspective it is a little frustrating.
Right.
Now, what's that one position you always wanted to play? Because I know when I played, I was a linebacker and I was also a 5th string running back because I wanted to play so bad. I never got a chance to play running back, but he put me on the roster as 5th string. So I know there's a spot that you always wanted to play.
Every kid grows up wanting to throw the ball. I'm gonna be honest, I can't throw the ball like that. So I've always wanted to still be on the line. I'd rather be a defensive end or a tight end if I could choose. Maybe tight end these days because like a Darren Waller type. That'd be kind of fun. You know, you get the block and catch and get the glory. Come on, that's hard.
You get a little bit of everything kind of with that position.
You get the run routes. They flex you like a receiver sometimes. You got to block. Sometimes you're on kickoff return. You're on punt return. Like that sounds fun. I would be able to run a little bit more if I wasn't so heavy, you know?
I mean, it's always possible. Why, one season I'm going to turn on TV and they're going to say Brandon Parker at tight end.
Good too, man.
So I know earlier you stated that, I think you said you sang in the church.
Yeah.
You say you sang in the church. So who is Brandon off the field?
Bit of a goofball, to be honest with you. I'm a father, obviously father, I'm a husband, I'm a Christian, but I'm definitely still that big goofy kid. Like I've matured since, adolescence, but you'll get a guy who's kind of just fun to hang around every day. Like I'm sure there's never a boring day with my wife because I'm always picking at her, I'm always joking. Like with kids, I'm always messing with Maya. Like our daughter is, because me and Dom like to pick a lot, so she just does not have it fair. Like we're always picking at her, messing with her, but she'll be used to it by the time she gets older, so she knows this. But I think you're just getting a nice, humble guy who just every day is the same guy. Pretty simple, I'm not flashy. I don't brag a lot. I don't boast. I'm not boastful. I'm not prideful. I get the job done every day. That's just how I am.
Yeah. But that's a really good thing. So is there anything that you got going on now off field related? I don't know if you have any, I mean, what activities are you into off the field? And anything in particular?
I like to fish. I'm in Vegas now, but in North Carolina, I got like a nice piece of property with some ponds. So I go and fish at least once or twice a month if I can. I'm big in the car audio, but I put that on hold for the family. Like I used to like buying a lot of subs and amps and stuff, but I've kind of put the brakes on that just for financial reasons. And now I just play a lot of video games. I'm always standby dad mode. So some days I'm playing 8. I'm lucky if I can get 2 or 3 games in a row. Usually I got to stop, take care of Elias, take care of Maya, or wifey just wants to get off. But that's really all I do. I just play video games and go to work. It's that simple.
That's good.
How old are your children?
Maya is 2 years old, my daughter, and my son Elias is 6 months old.
Okay.
That's great. It's always good to see a Black man taking care of business, that's doing well in his career, as being a good father, a good husband, is humble, but also has things that he's doing on the side as well. So that's great. And I truly see you as a mentor to the youth. I think that you have a great story and really something to say, and you set a great example for everybody. So I just want to give my hats off and kudos to you, man, because you're doing a great job. I've been watching from afar for quite some time, and I've always been impressed. So just keep it up. I got one last question.
Last question.
You ever play with yourself on Madden?
Believe it or not, I don't even play Madden, bro. I have. Now, when I was a rookie and like a young two-year guy, like, yeah, I got Madden because, I'm on it. My ratings is 69. I'm terrible on there. But I'm like, hey, I'm on there. Like, you see me run out the team.
Yeah.
So, but now it's like, man, football, like, as fun as it is, as passionate as it is, exciting and all that good stuff, it's like, how I see it. Why would I come home and play my job? That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Like,
Fair enough.
8 to 5 or whatever, however long the day is, I'm there.
Yeah.
And I'm the ball, watching film, I'm practicing, I'm eating, I'm around the teammates. So to come home and extend the job does not sound fun to me. So I follow where it is and enjoy the family time, try to play basketball because, in another life I thought I could hoop. So that's what my dream day or Call of Duty. I'm not going in the military, but that's just what I like to do.
Fun stuff. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Well, we truly do appreciate it, man. Did you have any questions for us or anything at all?
No, man. I just, like I said, y'all, I love your podcast. Keep up the good work, man. It's always good to see people from A&T, especially Aggie Pride, doing their thing, man. So, I appreciate y'all for taking the time to give me the platform to speak to you guys. Because, like I tell my wife, I do talk a good little bit, so it's nice to get a platform to express myself and just, get just to talk sometimes. A lot of times being in the helmet or being in our routine, that it's nice to stop, breathe, and just really get to talk to people. So I appreciate y'all.
Oh,
Thank
definitely.
you.
And be sure to leave behind your social tags in case people want to follow you. Like, what's your Instagram? How can people get in touch with you?
For sure, yeah. So IG is at _Parker_70 if I remember. Twitter is at Big Stuff Parker, like Mr. Big Stuff Parker. Facebook, barely on Facebook. That's like for family and stuff, just to keep up with them, man. But that's just main platforms. I'm not on TikTok or anything, so I don't need that distraction in my life. So I just left TikTok alone.
Yeah, because you can be on there for hours. I could just sit there since they're so short. You could just keep going on and then forget time.
That's what people tell me. And I'm like, if I already have a hard time putting a video game down, I don't want to add another element. So my wife is on TikTok, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all, and God bless you guys. Have a good day. Well, good evening at that time.
You too.
All right. Take care, man.
15 to forever. There's nobody that's better. You've been with me in the sun and the stormy weather. Want you to have my son over.